Okay, here we go. What we're doing today is we're just going to add a little agar to our grain jars here. I like to take off my paraffin and I like to squirt the top of each plate because I'm going to be setting the next plate on that, and it just starts this will start the cleaning process. Man, I ain't never had no paraffin act like this. It's probably just because the camera's on. It's going to try to be a pain in the butt. It's alright, we'll figure it out. Alright, so here we go with the still air box. We are doing some grain transfers. So what we're going to do is we're going to put all our jars that we're going to use in the first run in here. I've already sprayed the top of these a little bit with alcohol, but it never hurts to be extra clean. So we're going to hit the tops again and try to kind of leave it wet. Alright. And then you seen these a while ago. These have had alcohol sprayed in between each layer. So what we're going to do here, this is what we're working with. We're working with good 100% clean agar. We're only going to use middle cuts out of each one. And we are going to be... Alright, so now that we lay the top down on that, we're going to spark our heater up here. Turn that flame down to something manageable. And now we got our blade here. It's in pretty good shape. It don't appear to be, but it is. We're only going to do one transfer per heat. That means that we get it red hot. And then we go in. And first we get a jar ready to open. And then we locate where we want to cut. And just that quick. The main thing to remember is a lot of people will take want to take the agar and they want to checker cut it. They want to cut it up into all kind of little pieces. That's not the best way to do it, because the whole goal here is to have your bottle open, your container open the least amount of time. So what you do is you cut one plug of agar out, and then you're going to put it in your jar. And what you're going to do is you're going to let that colonize, right? Alright, when that colonizes 30%, that agar piece, then you're going to shake that up and use that as the spreader around her. I ain't saying that cutting it into checkered pieces don't work, because it does, but when you're working in front of a flow hood, that's a lot better method. But when you're working in a still air box, the name of the game is improving your odds. And how you improve your odds is by having your bottle open less. That's the best way to improve your odds. The least time you got that dang jar open and the least time you got that agar out, the better. So if you're opening your agar wedge and running crazy slices through it and all this, then you're giving contamination more time than it needs to get in there. I promise you, it don't need much time. So, like I said, the name of the game is get your jar open and closed as quick as possible. And as you keep doing these, you will get better and better at it. Now, hang on, let me cut this one and I'll show you a trick what I like to do. I like to have my whole entire box coated, and then I'll take one napkin and I'll wipe a little eye hole right here. That's the only place that won't be sopping wet in my box, and it seems to make all the difference in the world. And really, it's all that stuff when you add up everything that you're doing. You know, there ain't gonna be one technique that's gonna make you awesome, you know, but when you do a bunch of little things right, then that's what will allow you to work out of a still air box. You know, it's doing a bunch of little things right. There ain't gonna be no one big awesome thing you can do. It's clean technique. You know, you gotta clean your box real good. You gotta clean your hands. You gotta clean all your stuff. You gotta do the stuff that aggravates most people. You know, the stuff that most people ain't willing to do. If you want to call it wasting alcohol, that's cool, because I think it's the best investment in the world is to spend that alcohol versus getting new jars, you know, having to do new jars. Nobody likes to mess up. Nobody likes to see the green monster. The green monster, I have nightmares about the green monster. Any questions or comments, I'd like to see it in the comments. And the reason I don't show pictures of mushrooms is because my videos can still be monetized and stuff like that if I don't mention exactly what we got going here. Everybody knows what we're doing. Everybody knows what type of mushrooms we're growing. You know, we're growing therapy mushrooms, basically. That's all it is to it. Just old therapy mushrooms. So see, I got 3 more jars in there, so I go ahead and put 3 more plates. That way I don't have to open it until I'm going to put the rest of my jars in there. It's all them little things. If I was dealing with anything that had me touching my stuff, I would be washing my hands in between each touch, but I'm not touching nothing except stuff that's drenched in alcohol in there, so I'm not extremely worried about my hands, you know, because my hands ain't touching nothing. And you will get fast at doing this. And you will get technically sound at it. Your technique will get pure. This growing mushrooms thing is literally not rocket science. I remember my first, probably my first 6 months. I was striking out like crazy. Like, I'd have a little bit of success, and then ass it up, and I just kept thinking like, maybe it's just better, maybe I'm just supposed to purchase mushrooms, you know, maybe this just ain't for me. But then finally, once I learned my rhythm and my technique, I could then start doing what I had dreamed of doing, which is adapting other people's technique to do it my way, because I know that there's the whole reason why I'm doing these videos is because I want to show people that you don't have to be a plastic hog, man. You don't have to do damage to our wonderful planet to grow mushrooms, you know, and by that I mean you don't have to soak her down with more plastics. If you really seen how bad the ocean was doing right now with plastics and things like that, I would hope that we would be a little more cautious than we are. You know, a lot of the times we just don't realize that there's a problem, so we keep adding to it. I've got to believe that if we knew that there was a problem, and then if we knew there was something we could do about the problem, that we would maybe, that we would contribute to helping. So anyway, that's where I'm at with all of that. Is that I want to show people that you can grow these mushrooms that we all love so much without using every single thing plastic. And then not only that, but I want to show you that this way is more sustainable in the sense that it's gonna you're gonna be able to reuse your gear. And when you can reuse your gear, it makes things a lot cheaper. Like I know them ketchup cups don't seem like they're expensive, and it don't seem like it's a whole lot of plastic. But really and truthfully, it absolutely is. It is a ton of plastic actually, because you think just you, then you times the other 100,000 mushroom growers in the world, probably way more than that. But then you add to that all the other people that use ketchup cups for Jello shots and legitimate reasons and stuff like that. And maybe I'm rambling a little bit because I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing, but the whole point is that we just don't need to, if we're trying to do these mushrooms to help us, you know, to help us be better people, you know, most of the time I think that's what people are going through the effort of doing mushrooms for, is to self-improve. So we don't need to tear down, you don't never need to help yourself by tearing down something else, you know. I hate relationships like that, you know, like where one person's got to tear down the other to make themselves feel better. That's never a good relationship. And when it comes to our planet, our home, you know, we want to be in a good relationship with Mother Nature. We want her to take care of us, and we want to take care of her. And it sounds corny to say, but whenever you start conscientiously looking after the environment, it feels good. You know, there ain't like a lot of things in this world that I do that's good or proper, I will say, you know, but I feel like me being on Mother Nature's side is something good that I do, that I believe in, you know. And I mean, I really believe in it. It ain't something I just talk about. I mean, I really focus hard on trying to find a way to use glass, trying to find a way to use recyclable materials, you know, just all that good stuff like that. And it's not rocket science. It don't make it, just like old Elon Musk said about the electric cars. He said people ain't gonna just drive an electric car just because it's good for the environment. He said you got to make it be a better experience also. You know, that's why them Teslas are the fastest cars in the world, some of the coolest cars in the world, the most cost effective and everything. Now you create something like that, and then you can start, shit, you do something like that, and then you can create change. You know, you can cause change. So that's what I'm hoping for, if only just getting people to realize that using glass petri dishes will save you a ton of money, and then using the 3-pint jars, the 3-quart jars and the gallon jars, that you don't need plastic bags. You absolutely don't need plastic bags growing mushrooms. And once again, the jars go back to yeah, they might cost more to buy them once, but guess what? Once you buy them once, you're through. You don't gotta ever buy them again. Well, you're gonna drop one here and there, but that's what it's gonna take. Is you are gonna have to break them. You know, you ain't gonna just use them once and then give them to Mother Nature to deal with. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, with all that being said, we just wanna try to pitch in and do our part to try to help the environment. All right, so now this is gonna be the second time. In total, we're gonna shake the jars twice. Once is gonna be now to bury this. We wanna put the lid on there tight as you can, and then there's this shake you do like this, and you'll see it come down. Once it does that, loosen the jar a quarter turn. Same thing with this one. Find the thing, flip it till you see it. Okay, that'll work. Even though I don't see it, I know it's in the middle. Loosen it quarter turn. Same thing, keep going, tighten it. There it comes, right there. Loosen her a quarter turn. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave these like this for maybe the first week, right? And what's gonna happen is that's gonna ball up with white. Well, all the grains around that are gonna be white. Then we're gonna shake the heck out of it. We're gonna shake it really, really good, and that's gonna be the distribution shake. This ain't nothing but the bury it shake. This is just to get it grains on top of it. That's all we're trying to accomplish right here, is we're trying to get grains on all sides of the agar. That's it. We're not trying to mix the grains right here. That is not the goal of this shake. Like I said, this shake is just to bury the piece of agar, because we want to give it the best chance by having, we don't just want the agar to colonize down. We want it to be surrounded with the grains. That way it can colonize in every direction. And you're going to hear people out there tell you that it's better to cut it, it's better to cut it, it's better to cut it. I'm telling you that your odds of success are better like this. Maybe there might, and I'm saying might like I doubt it, but there might be an argument that somebody might could tell you that the other way, see, I don't like that. I don't like it all the way up against the side like that. I want it, hang on. There we go, perfect. I want grains on all sides of it. There might be an argument that cutting it up into little pieces and already having it spread around in there might be a faster colonization time by like 1 or 2 days. But who cares about a faster colonization time when we're working out of a still air box? The name of the game working out of a still air box is create success. You know, you're trying to find the most successful way to do this. And sure, if you had a flow hood, you got time to open your agar cup up and pray over it and dance around it and all sorts of stuff like that. But when you're struggling, when you're working with a still air box, you are playing to win. And the way to win in a still air box is keep your jars open as little as possible. Now, to the people that are paying attention, that might beg the question, well, Colby, why don't you use liquid culture, modify your lids with a syringe filter, and then you don't ever have to open the jar. You can just stick a needle in some liquid culture, pull it out, squirt it in here. To answer your question, or to answer the question I proposed, is it's all about my experience and what's worked best for me. I have tried liquid culture. I've got some going right now. I keep trying it because the math in my head, just like I just said, of never having to open a jar, seems like that it should be the best way. But I have more contam whenever, out of say 100 jars, if I do them with liquid culture and then I do 100 with agar, I'm gonna have more success with the agar every single time. So I hadn't quite figured out what, and I will test the agar. I will test the liquid culture on agar to make sure it's not the liquid culture. I don't know what it is. It's something about that liquid culture that'll trike up on me every time. It might be this Mississippi heat. I'm not really sure. Now, the main thing to remember, kids, is every time when you get through working with your box, you want to clean it before and after. Don't think that, I gotta clean it whenever I use it next time anyway, because that would probably work if you cleaned it super good the next time you use it. But it's you're just really trying to practice developing good technique. That's all we're trying to do here today. That's all we're trying to do is have good technique today, have a little better technique tomorrow, have a little better technique the day after that, and then we keep going like that, and before you know it, we will be full-blown home mycologist. Now, I will clean this later. I'm not lazing out in front of the camera. It's just that Sam's is closed right now, and I am running bad low on paper towels, and I still have a few things to do and show y'all. So I don't want to run out of paper towels. That will aggravate me bad, and I've only got this much left. Anyway, so much love, everybody.